The Merlin Ride Access Pass system can be an absolute nightmare to navigate. What I want to do today is put together a video which will help you, if you're entitled to apply and use the Merlin Ride Access Pass. So the Merlin Ride Access Pass, or RAP for short, is a pass for people with additional needs who may need help queuing and may need assistance getting onto the rides at the big theme park. You can use this in the 4 Merlin theme parks in the UK: Legoland, Windsor, Chessington World of Adventure, Thorpe Park and Alton Towers. It does work slightly differently in each park. What we'll do today is we'll go through and we'll put together all the information so that you've got what you need to use the Ride Access Pass when you need it. What I'll also do, because it's a lot of information to take in, is I'll chop the video up into chapters and I'll put the timestamps down in the description for you. So hopefully that will help and you can jump to what you need. So what is the Ride Access Pass? Well, the Merlin Ride Access Pass, or RAP for short, is a pass for people with additional needs who require just a little bit of help when using the rides at the theme parks. This can be anything from allowing you to bring a carer to the park with you, all the way through to being able to use the access queue lines, which is a quicker physical queue line. This is to help people who, for example, can't stand up for long periods of time. They will be in a virtual queue, so to speak, so they queue after the rides, not actually in the physical queue beforehand. I'll explain a bit more about that when we're talking about using the pass. There are two types of Ride Access Pass. There is a yellow pass and a red pass. The yellow pass is issued usually to people who don't need any assistance physically or a carer with them when they're riding the rides. A Red Access Pass usually means that the person with the pass requires assistance or a carer with them while they're riding the rides. They won't be allowed to ride the rides on their own, and they will need someone over the age of 14 with them as their carer. So how do you get a Ride Access Pass? The simplest way to apply is to apply for an access card. Now, I know it's similarly named, and this might cause a bit of confusion, but I'll try and be as clear as possible with this. So the access card is issued by a company called Nimbus, and they're designed to give people with additional needs a way to communicate that they need these needs without actually having to disclose their illness, disability or whatever. So Nimbus will take your information and any proof that they ask for. They will assess that and they will issue you an access card if you require one, which has small symbols on to denote the different assistance that you might require. That's anything from any hearing impairment, if you need a service animal, and a whole range of different things. Symbols that we'll focus on today are the symbols that are required for the Ride Access Pass. The main symbols you want to look for are the +1, which will entitle you to a carer pass, a WC symbol, which denotes that you may need to use disabled restrooms, and the queuing symbol, which is the key symbol that you want for a Ride Access Pass. So the access card costs £15 and it lasts for 3 years. I know that it's an additional payment, but I've used the access card in lots of different situations and it's been an absolute godsend. I've used it in different countries, I've used it in train stations and different venues to gain access to disabled bathrooms that aren't accessible using my radar key, and I've been able to communicate to people in different countries, in different languages, that I do need extra assistance just using this card. If you're able to get one, do get one. So now you have your access card, you need to apply for the Ride Access Pass through the Merlin website. You can do this by going on to any of the park's websites, and there is an accessibility section of the website. Once you're in the accessibility section, there will actually be an explanation of what you need to do. Now, it's not the clearest explanation, but what you need to look for is to apply for the Ride Access Pass. Now, once you go into that section, it will ask for all of your information, and it will also give you the option to send proof that you require the Ride Access Pass, or it will ask you if you have an access card. Now, if you have an access card, all you need to do is put in your card number with your information, and all of the information that Nimbus have will be used to issue you a Ride Access Pass. If you are issued a Ride Access Pass, you'll receive an email with a ticket on it. If you go into the email and click on View Tickets, you will actually be given your barcode number. Now, you need to write that down if you want to use the Ride Access Pass before you go and get your physical card. Now, when you go to the park for the first time, if you go to Guest Services first and take your email, it will have a barcode on it, and what they will do is they will issue you a physical card which has all the information on that you'll need to book going forward. Now, once you have the card, or if you just have the barcode number from the email, you'll be able to book your Ride Access Pass for the days that you're going to visit the parks. Now, to do this, you just go onto the park's website, go to the accessibility section, scroll down to the bottom where you'll see book your Ride Access Pass time slot. It will ask you for a few details. So it will ask you what colour Ride Access Pass you have, the barcode number from your card or email, and then it will ask you what date you would like to go. Now, when you see the calendar, there will be some dates greyed out. These dates have been pre-booked. In all honesty, it's the weekends that get pre-booked up very, very quickly. So it's always worth booking in advance or checking the dates that are available for the Ride Access Pass before you book your park tickets. Now I know that's not ideal, but that is the best way to do it at the moment. We'll come back to the different ways that you can book dates that are currently greyed out a little bit later in the video. So at the parks, there are a couple of different ways that the ride access passes work. At Alton Towers and Thorpe Park, when you arrive at the park, you'll present your time slot booking, which is a barcode, at guest services, and they will issue you a paper ticket which you will present at each ride when you enter the access queue. So for example, with Colossus, you would enter the ride access queue with your paper pass. You go to the member of staff who's waiting at the end of the access queue and present your paper pass to them. What they will do is they will write down the ride name, so in this case Colossus, they will write down their initials, and they will also write down what time you are able to join the next access queue on the next ride. If it's a 45-minute estimated wait time for Colossus, you go in at 1:15. 2 o'clock will be the next time you'll be able to use the access queue. So in effect, what you're doing is queuing after the ride. So it just saves you from physically standing in the queue if you're unable to. So the whole point of the ride access pass. Now at Legoland and Chessington, it works slightly differently. What you would do is you would book your slot and you transfer your booking from the email into the app. You do this by putting in your email address and your booking reference number, and it will transfer everything on that booking into the app for you. Now on the morning when you arrive at the site, you go in as normal. As soon as you arrive, if you have a look at the app, you'll be able to go into your ride access pass and you'll be able to pre-book a ride. So you'll get a big list of all the rides. You can tap on it and it will give you the time slot to go and ride the ride there and then. Once you've checked in for the ride, if you look at the app, you'll notice that everything's greyed out and you will get a timeout period. The last time I visited Legoland, it was a 30-minute timeout period for each ride. So for 30 minutes after I've been on the ride, I wasn't able to book in for the next one. Once that 30 minutes is up, it becomes live again and you can book in for the next one and repeat. So at the parks, there's 2 rides at the moment that work slightly differently. The first one's Hyperia. Now for Hyperia, on your physical paper card, at the bottom, you'll have a punch out section. When you use your ride access pass for Hyperia, the attendant there will punch out a hole to show that you've used your ride for the day and you're only able to use ride access pass once for Hyperia per day. At Legoland, on the Minifig Speedway, it's a very similar thing. Once you book your slot, you're unable to book the Minifig Speedway again. So this is for fairness as the newer rides. Now with both, neither of them give you a timeout period. So you can ride that ride, there's no timeouts, you can go straight on to the next ride, but you can only use it once. So that's how to use and book your ride access pass slots. Now it's very important to know, if you're not going to be able to make your booking, it is really important that you cancel your booking. Now, the reason I say this is because weekends particularly get very booked up, and the school holidays. If you book up and you're unable to use it, if you cancel it, those slots will go back into the pool. So if you're intending on going to the parks and can't get a ride access pass slot, what you can do, and something that I picked up from one of the Facebook groups associated with ride access pass, you can go on in the morning between about 9 and 10 o'clock, and any that have been cancelled the previous day will go back into the pool. So that happens a lot for that particular day. So if you're going on the Friday morning, it's a good time to check. You can check previously through the week. They often do turn back up and you can get slots that weren't previously available. So it's always worth checking. Now, it just means that if you can't go to your one, I mean, for me, for example, if I'm in a flare, I wouldn't be able to go to the park. So I have to cancel. So to do so, you either log back in with your original booking and you can move the time slot, or if you need to cancel altogether, there is an email address which I'll put down below in the description that you can email and they'll cancel that for you. All that means is if everyone does that, it gives a little bit more harmony. There's no slots wasted, everyone gets a chance, and it's a bit of a fairer situation. All of this information may actually change next season, but this is the current information for the 2024 season. So saying all that, there are a few issues with the system. So the fact that you have to book a time slot has become a bit of a problem for some people. Obviously you can't just go on a whim anymore, whereas other seasons you'd be able just to turn up, go to the window and get your ride access pass there. Unfortunately, that's not the way anymore. There have been problems where the ride access queues are just as long as the regular queues, and obviously that defeats the object of it. I understand why Merlin have had to do this, but it's still not an ideal solution. But until someone comes up with an ideal solution, then this is what we have. Because I don't go at weekends and I don't tend to go in the school holidays, I don't really see an issue. But if you're a family and you've got kids that are in school, then yes, obviously this can be a bit of a minefield to navigate. If we all work together, then this could be a great system which could be really beneficial to everyone who actually needs it. Now, there are a couple of Facebook groups which I would suggest joining if you are planning on getting an access card or a ride access pass. There is the official Access Pass Facebook group. Now, people who use the access cards in that group will tell you where they've been, where they've used it, and if it's been accepted, and what assistance that they've received. There's some great ones, and people travel all over the world with them, and they're reporting back. So the Ride Access Pass group is great because there are a lot of questions raised in there that are very specific to people's needs, and it can be really, really helpful. If you have any questions, you can just go on there and ask. No questions too big or small. People will always respond and will always try and be as helpful as possible. So that's it. So hopefully that's gone some way to help you with the Ride Access Pass. As I say, it can be a bit tricky. Please do join the Facebook group so you can get some extra help if you're a bit stuck. Obviously, any comments or any questions, you can also pop them below and I'll do my best to answer them. If I can't answer them, I'll see if I can direct you to the right place to get your answers. And yeah, and so hopefully that's been some help. If it has been of help, give us a thumbs up, a like, a follow, all of that sort of stuff. I really do appreciate it. It goes a long way for me. But really, I just hope this has been helpful for you. And I'll see you in the next one.